Hey guys, welcome to it, man. This is another episode. It's a short one of the Free Ride podcast. And of course, just a quick announcement. It's not a real podcast. Just to say that I just wanted to share a story. Basically, one of the things that I'm sure most of you who live in Johannesburg, who are workers, who are employees, who are business people, who are people that like to travel around Jozi, I'm sure that you spend a lot of money on petrol, on traveling costs, Bolt, Uber, and of course, you probably don't like using commuting other modes of transport like trains. Sometimes they're not reliable. Taxis, there's issues there. And of course, like I said, Bolt and Uber then becomes quite expensive, but it's available, but it's expensive. So one of the things that I don't like, particularly around Joburg traffic, is that firstly, it's very expensive and it's not cost effective. It does not make sense. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, the amount of time that you spend in traffic, going to work and coming back home, and the amount of time wasted burning fuel in and around the streets of Johannesburg is way too expensive. I mean, you can check out the petrol costs right here. I mean, it's very expensive. It does not make financial sense at all. So one of the things I decided to do, because I realized that 80% of the time I traveled all alone to work and back, Mondays to Fridays, even sometimes on weekends, if I have to work, 80% of the time I'm all alone, except if I have to go with the family or my loved ones. And I must admit, it's very expensive to get around town. And there was, at some point, one of the former mayors of Johannesburg, in fact, did a study for Johannesburg before they introduced things like BRT, the bus rapid transport system, was to say that majority of South Africans, those living in Johannesburg, spend 70% of their monthly incomes on travel. Which means it's either on a car, including maintenance, insurance, petrol, and like I said, maintenance. 70% of one's income goes towards things like that, which does not make sense. And that's why they introduced the BRT so that people can park their cars, use the BRT to be able to get from the south to the north. And of course, it was supposed to go from the west to the central of Joburg and further to the north of Johannesburg. So I realized a couple of months ago that, in fact, my petrol expenses and my maintenance expenses were way too much, and it did not make financial sense. Unless, of course, you've got a car allowance, you've got, all the other benefits from Kospani. But the majority of people, me in particular, I don't have that. So whatever I spend on my travel is out of pocket. So it didn't quite make sense. So I decided, no, man, I'm looking for something cool. I had bikes before and I wanted something really cool, sustainable, chilled, fun. And I happened to come across something really cool. Check this out. So basically, it's a company called EZ Bikes. And of course, they are electric Zoom bikes. It says here, join the Evolution, electric motorbikes that push the boundaries. So they've got a couple of different types of bikes, and they say change the way you move. I agree with that, man. Embrace the future of transport with electric Zoom. I mean, the electric vehicles are already here. Electric bicycles are already here. Electric bikes are here, man. They're here to stay. Electric motorbikes offer you a convenient way and a sustainable way to travel. No clutch, no gears, just go. So you can check it out. So you can look at, they run a couple of things. They've got a rent to own special, where you can save coin and go electric. You can pay it off within 60 months. They've got different plans you can look at. So if you go further, they've got a bike called the Commuter. And then they've also got the lifestyle bikes. Now, check those ones out, man. So if you are into like a super bike type of bike, there's one called the FE Nix. Then there's the Ghost. You can check out their prices. And then, of course, it's the one that I fell in love with. It's called the Retro Racer. That's the one I'm using, man. And I must tell you, bro, this one reminded me of those bikes that Hitler used to make, or the Germans used to make, the World War bikes. And of course, I've always wanted that World War bike. I don't know what it is about it. I just loved it. And I wanted one, and I couldn't find one. And if you do find one, they're not cheap. They are very expensive. So I got lucky. I bumped into this company called Electric Zoom, and I'm pleased to say that I am so excited to chat to the team next week, and I'll be visiting their factory to see how everything is all sorted out, and I'll talk to a couple of guys in the technical field, talk to the marketing people. I'll talk to them, and so we'll be looking at a couple of things, man. Just how commuting has changed around the world, why the green approach where you reduce your emissions, your fuel emissions, you reduce your cost of travel. And of course, you can do your own maths and look at how much you spend on petrol, you spend on your car to pay it off, the interest, you pay your maintenance, and of course, you also pay for your insurance. So all those costs and your tracker. So all those expenses, count them, including your petrol and oil and whatever. So include all of that and look at how much you spend. And then look at how you travel. Maybe you travel all alone most of the time. Like I travel 80% of the time. I'm all on my own because I'm working. I'm a hustler. And of course, it does not make sense for me, of course, on rainy days or days where it's extremely too cold, but on a normal day where it's beautiful. And of course, also, I get to be a boy again. Oh my God, let me not tell you about that, man, because I'm going to get into trouble. But let me tell you, if you do look for if you are looking for a motorbike, something really cool, these are the guys to speak to. The service is unbelievable. And of course, the costs include maintenance, and they'll explain all of those things. And I think it's been absolutely amazing. So for the last 2 months, I've been testing this thing out, the Retro, and everywhere I go, everybody wants to stop me and talk to me about these bikes. And I keep telling them, I say, guys, this is the way to go. Guys, you can't be wasting so much money on traveling. And of course, that's if you're a two-wheeler type of guy. I mean, I'm not talking to guys that can't ride bicycles, guys that can't be on a two-wheeler. I mean, of course, if you've never been on a bicycle, on a bike before, I mean, you're probably not the target market. But if you grew up on a bicycle and you love to explore a motorbike, and you've never had a motorbike before, this is quite simple. It's just get up and go. You switch on and you go, and you don't even have to there's no clutch, bro. No clutch. You just go. Wavaya feel like it brake accelerator, wahata wavaya. As long as you've got control, and of course you need a license, bro. You need it. You know, muskimulao. Get that shit out of the way. But yeah, so I'll be talking to those guys. So I thought this particular segment, I just want to address it to the new partnership that I'm hoping that we're going to form with these guys to talk about the e-evolution or the e-revolution, however way you look at it. The way of travel is going to change. The electronic bikes and cars, maybe even buses at some point. I mean, you'll be seeing, I was told that Shell is leaving South Africa and they're looking to go to South America and other countries where the electronic vehicles and electronic bikes are going to be the thing. Of course, Africa, South Africa, we're not there yet. We're still quite a long way to go, but we have already started. We are moving in the right direction. So this is 10 minutes. Just wanted to talk to you about that and make sure that you contact me, you DM me, you speak to me. If you're looking for a bike, it's going to be a new partnership that I'm going to be forming with these guys where we'll be talking about these beautiful, beautiful machines, man. Oh, they're such a joy to ride. Anyway, let me sign off. I'm out. Cheers.